If you walked into an electronics store this month, you probably saw something odd. People weren't crowding the TV wall, they were crowding the jewelry case. Smart rings, sleep bands, watch faces lit up like tiny dashboards. Here's the thing, that shift isn't a fluke. It's a signal. Wellness wearables just took a big step into the mainstream, while another category, AI glasses, is quietly lining up to be the next battleground. So today, let's make sense of both stories. Why are rings the it gift of 2025? And why are factories and big platforms betting that glasses, not pins or pendants, become the way we use AI in 2026? Let's start with what changed in our everyday lives. A lot of us now wake up, check a sleep score, and make small choices because of it. Maybe you moved your late workout, or cut the 8 p.m. espresso. It's not rocket science, it's routine. And when tech turns into routine, markets move. So, what actually happened? An analyst firm reported that US spending on fitness trackers jumped year to date in 2025. Smart rings took the lion's share of that revenue. One brand now has more than 5.5 million rings sold, which tells you they've broken out of niche status. Retailers felt it. In early December, news segments showed shoppers swapping TV budgets for wearables, Oura rings, Garmin watches, Whoop bands, even newer brands like Ringcon. That rush wasn't just hype on TikTok. Stores stocked deep and a lot of it moved. Then a curveball. A new $75 smart ring hit the market with no battery and no traditional sensors. It's basically a passive tag that works with your phone for activity cues and software-driven insights. No heart rate readings, no charge anxiety, 1-year lifespan. It's a test of a radical idea. Can software beat hardware in a category built on sensors? And in the background, something else clicked into place. Industry reporting says Google is targeting 2026 for AI-enabled glasses. Not a formal announcement. This is supply chain chatter and analysis. But factories are reportedly booking capacity for eyewear over pins and pendants. That matters. Manufacturing follows confidence. So let's slow that down for a second. 2 tracks. Today's reality. Rings and bands are mainstream wellness tools. Tomorrow's bet. AI glasses could become the everyday surface for ambient computing. In other words, your finger is normalizing continuous health data, while your face might become the next interface. Now, what's actually inside these devices? Most premium rings and bands use optical sensors, little lights that look at blood flow, to estimate heart rate and heart rate variability. You'll hear PPG. That just means photoplethysmography. Light in, blood flow out, math in the middle. They pair that with accelerometers, tiny motion sensors, to understand movement and stillness. Combine the two over time and you can estimate sleep stages, recovery, and stress trends. Not perfect, but a decent compass for daily habits. You'll also see HRV, or heart rate variability. That's the wiggle in your heart's timing from one beat to the next. Think of it like the suspension on a car. More flexible suspension usually means the system is handling bumps well, less stress. Some labs have been validating this gear in controlled settings. You'll see doctors wearing multiple devices, an Oura ring, a Whoop band, a Garmin watch, comparing them to clinical sleep tests and heart monitors. Their conclusion tends to be nuanced. These devices aren't diagnostic tools, but they can approximate useful trends, especially for heart rate and basic sleep patterns. Here's what actually matters here. The point isn't perfection, it's feedback loops. If a ring consistently nudges you toward better habits, the utility is real even if the science isn't hospital grade. There is a catch, and it's got a name. Orthosomnia. When people get anxious chasing perfect sleep numbers, the metrics are helpful until they stress you out. Experts advise treating scores as directional. It's coaching, not a verdict. Let that sink in for a second. The line between useful nudge and new anxiety can be thin. Now back to that $75 ring. Pebble's sensorless approach bets that many people just want a lightweight habit trigger, something to tap at the turnstile, log an activity, get a simple nudge, and they're fine letting the phone do the work. No battery, no monthly charging ritual, just a software-first experience. This could force the market to split. Premium devices justify their price with deeper biometrics and validated accuracy. Lower-cost rings chase comfort, price, and good enough guidance. Okay, glasses. Why are so many signals pointing there for 2026? Start with a simple idea. The best interface is the one you forget. Glasses sit at the intersection of fashion and function. People already wear them all day. That's a massive advantage versus a pin or a headset. Modern smart glasses pack tiny microphones, small cameras, and low-power chips. Pair them with a capable AI model. Think Gemini or ChatGPT, and you get ambient help, real-time translation in your ear, A quick summary of a whiteboard you just looked at. A gentle reminder that this is the cafe where you met a client last spring. In other words, AI without the ritual of pulling out your phone. Just look, speak, and move on. Here's the surprise. This category's success may hinge less on raw tech and more on look and feel. Frames that resemble Ray-Bans stand a chance. Bulky sci-fi goggles often don't. That's not trivial, it's the whole ballgame. Industry reporting says factories are prioritizing glasses builds over alternative AI gadgets. If you build supply chains, you know what that implies. Component ecosystems, costs, and developer energy shift with them. So, why does all this matter beyond holiday sales? Let's talk real-world impact. For consumers, rings and bands are becoming the new toothbrush. You don't marvel at it, you just use it. Daily sleep and recovery scores shape small choices, which add up to better weeks. That's a big deal. For healthcare, the volume of patient-generated data is pushing systems to figure out what to ingest and how to triage it. Expect more pilots, more APIs, and more questions about accuracy and responsibility. For businesses, the leaders in rings now have brand trust and scale. One company passing 5 million units creates a defensible moat. Meanwhile, a $75 entrant pressures the premium end to prove that extra sensors and subscription fees translate into better outcomes. For teams building software, glasses open a new canvas, low latency, on-device AI that's glanceable, hands-free, and context-aware. That's a different design problem than mobile apps. It's closer to live theater than to a web page. Let's pause and summarize the 3 big insights so far. Rings normalized continuous health monitoring in 2025. That changed consumer expectations. A cheap, sensorless ring challenges the more hardware is better assumption. AI glasses are shaping up as the next interface, if fashion and AI feel invisible. Now, the risks and the open questions. Accuracy isn't uniform. These devices estimate sleep stages and stress with algorithms. They'll get better, but they're not medical devices. Treat trends as guidance, not diagnoses. There's also privacy. Glasses with cameras and mics raise the "are we recording" issue. The original Google Glass ran into that wall. Designers are working on clear privacy cues, LEDs, audible chimes, but social norms take time to settle. And timelines. The 2026 glasses target is based on industry reporting, not a formal announcement. Plans change. Hardware is hard. If you're planning roadmaps around it, keep that uncertainty in mind. So where is this all going? Here's a simple way to think about the next 18 months. Rings and bands will stratify. Premium devices sell confidence. Validated biometrics, better coaching, maybe integration with your doctor. Low-cost devices sell comfort. No charging, simple insights, and a price that feels like a stocking stuffer. Glasses become the platform fight. Meta has a head start with fashion-forward frames. Google's ecosystem could bring Android-scale developer tools and on-device AI. OpenAI may push a different path, a small, screenless assistant, but it faces a form factor challenge, convincing people to carry a new object instead of wearing something familiar. If glasses win, it won't be because of a spec sheet, it'll be because the AI feels like a helpful whisper and the frames look like something you'd wear anyway. A few practical takeaways if this touches your work. Choosing a ring? Match it to your goal. If you want deep recovery and training insights, that's premium territory. If you just want a nudge to move and a simple habit loop, cheaper options may be enough. Worried about sleep scores? Think trend, not perfection. If 2 weeks of lower scores align with late coffees and late workouts, try changing one thing and see if the trend lifts. Don't let a single number define your day. Building for glasses? Design for glance and go. Fast, context-aware responses. Clear privacy signals. And a default experience that works without screens. Working in healthcare or HR? If you're exploring wearables data, start small. Pilot with volunteers. Set expectations that insights are directional and have a plan for what happens when data conflicts with how people feel. Watching the platform race? Pay attention to fashion partnerships, battery life, and developer kits as much as AI benchmarks. Those are the adoption levers. Let's bring it home. 2025 made wellness wearables feel ordinary. That's the real story behind the sales spike. When something moves from gadget to habit, it reshapes what we expect from all our tech. We start asking for value we can feel tomorrow morning, not a spec we can brag about today. And right behind that shift, 2026 is setting up a different kind of question. What if AI lives in something we already wear? If glasses crack that code, fashion first, helpful second, invisible third. We may look back on this holiday season as the moment the ground quietly shifted. Until then, the smart bet is simple. Treat your ring like a coach, not a judge. Watch the glass's space for the trio that actually matters: comfort, clarity, and an AI that knows when to speak and when to stay out of the way. That's the story for now. If you found this useful, a like and subscribe helps us keep making these videos.